Tristan with Nerdette's NewsStand, and it is Monday morning, which means another Stargirl episode. We are getting towards the end. This was episode 11, titled Shining Knight, and the next two episodes are the two-part finale. So we are getting very close, and I love this episode. I usually say this was the best of all. This didn't have as much action, but what it had was so good, and so, again, I want to reiterate this. I do quite a few times, but so comic book accurate. So good. And I know it was written by Jeff Johns, and so is the finale. So I think that helps a lot. But we start with the janitor, who we've talked about quite a bit. He is obviously Sir Justin. And he is walking in the country. In present day, he's confused. He asked this farmer about his steed. So I said it a couple episodes back. I wondered if we were going to get Winged Victory. And I have a good feeling that we will. I really hope we do. I hope he finds a steed. But I think with all of the preface to it, I think we will get it. So he doesn't remember really anything about himself, but he remembers Stripesy. So what happened, and you kind of have to figure this out from the context within it, is he was brainwashed by Dr. Ito, and he does tell the story of how he became one of those drones. So we do see Sam Curtis arrive in town, and if you've read the comic books, you know what's going to happen. It stays very much the same. We see Barbara, Courtney, and Pat trying to come up with a plan after they find out about Jordan, and Barb kind of comes to terms with everything from last episode. Well, Pat says, to leave. Take the kids and get out. Take Mike. He just wants them safe. And, she's not gonna do that. Well, Mike comes down, the doorbell has rang. Sam has shown up, and everyone's really shocked. Like, if Barbara's looks could kill, he would be absolutely 6 feet under, but Courtney initially doesn't believe him. Even with her mom confirming that is your father, she doesn't believe him. She believes Starman is still, her father. And I said at the beginning, I didn't think Starman was, but the way she really, really stressed it felt like this was going to happen. So, she does kind of go along with it with the locket that she always wears. And he has the matching one. And she's obviously not okay. She wants to talk to Pat, not her mom. And they do. They go upstairs to her room and talk. And, he says it's her dad. Mike walks in. I feel really bad for Mike this entirety of this episode. They need to tell Mike. They really do. Otherwise, he's going to start pulling away and start resenting his father. He looks at his dad and he said, "What did I do wrong? What have I done?" So, obviously, he didn't do anything wrong. But my God, tell the poor kid what is going on. Tell him the truth. Sit him down like you did Barbara. He could handle it. He's a good, character so far. So, Barb is talking to Sam. Ask why he's really there. He says he wants to get to know his daughter before it's too late, even though it's a decade since he's seen her. And they go on this walk together, right? Sam and Courtney. And Courtney realizes he's telling the truth from the shared memories that they have about Christmas and so on. And they go to breakfast together. Well, Sam says he wants to be in her life, right? He wants to get those two to know each other. And Courtney does agree. But on the way back, they, are returning home. They sit down on the step and come to find out, the locket that she is wearing, the match is very rare. It's very valuable. And he came not to get to know his daughter. He came for that locket, just like in the comics. So he, breaks Courtney's heart. It is absolutely devastating. She does give it to him. I mean, she gives it up, but she goes inside and Pat's there. She breaks down. She breaks down crying to Pat. She is absolutely heartbroken. Well, that pisses Pat off quite a bit. He kind of chases him down as he's leaving. and explains what he did to his daughter, how he just broke her heart. He doesn't really care, right? He doesn't care what he did to Barb or to Courtney. He gets cocky about it. I love that, Pat is very defensive of them, very protective of them. And he knocks him out, tells him don't ever come back. And that's fine because he hadn't really planned on it anyway. All he was doing was using her for that locket. So we see Sir Justin. And he is back at the school. He is in a panic. You can tell he's, delusional. He sees himself as Dr. Ito's drone. And then, he heads out to get answers. He definitely takes Excalibur with him. But he runs into Pat at his shop, pit stop. So Beth and Rick are also there. And Pat is explaining to them, about Starman not being Courtney's father and stuff. And that's when Sir Justin shows up. He's delusional. He sees them. He sees Pat as Dr. Ito and the other two as the drones. And, Pat does and is able to talk him down, kind of make him remember who he is. And Justin does come back around. He does come back around, but for a second there, it's a little worried. But he breaks down. And this part, the emotion on this man's face is so good. He does such a good job. Instantly was one of my favorite characters. We lost Henry Jr. last week. So this brought that really good character back. He breaks down. He cries. He begs for help. It is so damn sweet. So we see Pat then, explain who Sir Justin is to Beth and Rick. And he shows Justin a picture of him in these 7 Soldiers of Victory, tries to help him remember who he is, starts talking about different stories he knows about him, how he got Excalibur from Arthur, and that's because heroes can come from anywhere, and he is from the past. So Justin was following his dragon, right? That time was a time of dragons. He was following his dragon, except for it was Dragon King. I really liked how they worked that together. So, he was captured. He says no one is safe. But when he was captured, he was made into one of those mindless drones. And he's trying to come out of it. It's not really working. But it's absolutely, it's so sweet. He does such a good job with it. And they end up taking Justin back home, setting him up in the guest room. That way, they can really work on how it goes. He does get to see Pat's stripe, right? He says it's a great set of armor, and it really is. So we see Henry Sr., right? He is in Icicle's office. He shares, because he remembered who Stargirl is. And instantly you can see the fear on Icicle's face. And he's very surprised. He tells them not to kill him because Henry, realizes at that point that Jordan has feelings for Barbara. And that's when we learn at this point that his powers have grown. So when he killed his son, Henry Jr., last episode, he absorbed his powers. So now, before when Project New America, they were going to take over 6 states. Now he says with the powers that he absorbed, how much it's grown, he can take half of the United States and brainwash them. Oh boy. But he does tell Jordan that he better make up his mind or he'll make it up for him. So we do see then Jordan, check Barb's computer. He realizes that Barb does know he is Icicle. And that's, where that decision is made. So we catch up with Courtney at school. And, she's so down. I feel so bad for her. But she refuses to do, any sort of work. Because when she was at home, the staff would not work for her. It would not. And she doesn't know why. She thinks it's because, of her father. But she's ready to leave Blue Valley. It's not working. She's depressed. She's ready to go. Well, this is lunchtime. And everyone, is trying to help her feel better. But she's saying she's not Stargirl. And she blames herself for the deaths that we've seen so far on this show, such as Henry Jr. But there is a memorial assembly then for Henry Jr. And the person speaking at it is none other than his father, Brainwave. and starts talking to, the class, but then, telekinetically speaks to Courtney in her head, and he is egging her on, come after us, come after us. So she runs home for the staff. She's nervous, she's freaking out. And then Pat goes on, to explain the staff won't work for her until she believes in herself. And, the staff chose her, but if she doesn't believe in herself, the staff can't believe in her either. She has to get back to a point where she thinks she can truly be a hero, because again, like we heard before, heroes can come from anywhere. She just has to believe that herself. So, in order to do so, she gets her mother and Pat and really relies on them. And I like that about this show. I love the family aspect. So, the staff does work, and they have a really great, panning moment where the lights up and the whole staff lights up. It's just really sweet. Well, you see, Justin, like I said, was staying in the guest room. He walks down the stairs just a little bit, and he's all excited, and he says, he's remembering stuff, and he said, "Oh, our queen," it was super cute. But we end with Icicle telling Henry Sr. his decision, which is, kill, obviously, Courtney and Barb and Pat, but make sure you get Mike, too. We can't have a legacy running around. So he wants the whole family dead. And then we see the countdown of Project New America, which is a little bit over 12 hours. So it looks, is it 12 hours or 12 days? I'll have to look at my screenshots. But it looks like it's 12 days. I apologize. But it looks like we are getting a good finale. I freaking love this show. I love it way too much. It is such a good show. I am, it's bittersweet that, it's coming to an end. Luckily, I have Umbrella Academy Season 2, which didn't look near as interesting as Season 1, but we'll have to wait and see. I love this show. It's such a recommend. Such a good episode. Such good little Easter eggs, it goes the same as Stars and Stripes. Love it. Josh Jones does a fantastic job, and can't wait to see what we get with this finale. 2-part finale, 2 weeks. So, anyways, let me know what you guys think about this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey guys, I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon and subscribe stars. You guys literally make this channel possible. Huge thank you to Cage the Mick, Robert Mick Twiz, Black Knight Fool, Brucey, Chris Z, David L, David Rafford, Jeffrey Allen Carnes, Mighty Balls, Mike Buckner, Maizen Barbosa, Ruskar, Ryan Decker, Robert Hoffman, and Doc Holliday. You guys are absolutely amazing, and thank you so much for all your support. Don't forget on the way out to like as always if you enjoy the content, and hit subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.